Hey, Cody here with Creation Outdoors, and I don't know about you, but I'm already looking forward to fall. So today I'm going to walk through what I think is going to be a pretty nice mobile hunting setup and some of the things that I've upgraded to for this upcoming fall, and we're going to try them out and see what we think. So stay tuned because this is going to be a lot of fun. So coming out of last deer season, there was a number of things that I definitely wanted to upgrade because of weight and mobility. And due to those two things being the main things that I did not like, I ended up this year moving to a saddle. And so this is going to be my first year hunting out of a saddle. And so I'm going to just walk through, just to start this video, some of the things that I've gotten recently that I think are going to be pretty sweet for this upcoming fall. So for the saddle itself, I ended up going with a Latitude method saddle. And as you can see, this is a two-piece saddle, which I think is going to be really nice, specifically because I have some back pain, and so having this extra support a little bit higher on your back, I think is going to be really nice. Now, with that being said, I've never hunted out of the saddle, so I'm not really sure. Latitude Outdoors is a company that maybe not a lot of people have heard of. It's a small company out of Michigan, and so again, kind of an American-made piece that I'm looking forward to trying out. To go with this, I also have one of their little side pouches. This one's pretty nice because it has a zipper on the outside, which I think will be nice for a phone, and you can even hold a climbing stick as well from this one. Now, for the true ropes and gear, I have my lineman's rope and my tether, and these are both from Tethered. To go along with that, I have another hip pouch, and that is also from Tethered. For my platform, I have the Tethered Predator platform in their carrying pouch. And so all of these things actually right now are on sale, which I think is pretty sweet, and that's actually one of the reasons why I bought these right now, and so that I could get used to them before fall. So go ahead and check them out. Again, Latitude Outdoors and Tethered. I'll put the link to both of these in the description. You may have already seen these, but these are the Tethered 1 sticks, which I think are going to be pretty sweet. I put together a short video, which I'll also share the link to, just giving an overview of these sticks, but they're super light, and I think they're going to be pretty sweet. And so with that said, let's put these to work. We'll put them on and we'll get in a tree and see what we think. And maybe we'll even take a couple shots with the bow just to see how we feel. So now that we're ready to go, you can see I have my one hip pouch here, my other one here, both on the saddle, and I have my sticks connected to this carrying bag for my platform. So I think that'll work pretty sweet to get started, but I'm sure we'll refine as we go. I haven't walked very far and found probably about the easiest tree to get into. And that's another thing that saddle hunters like to talk about a lot, is that tree selection is a lot easier with the saddle versus a stand. Now, I don't really know what that looks like in real life. I'll have to follow up on that this fall. But one thing I can tell you that is definitely easier is walking in. So I don't know if you can tell, but I have everything on my hips, and I've got the platform and sticks on my back, and it is way lighter than what I thought was a pretty light setup before. I had an XOP Vanish tree stand and some Muddy Pro sticks before, which are pretty decent, high quality pieces of bow hunting gear, and this is way lighter and way easier to walk with. It's pretty insane. But with that said, we'll see what it's like getting up in the tree and how comfortable we are. I know that, you know, sitting and standing on a platform in a tree stand seems like it might be more comfortable, but we'll see what this kind of lounging type hunting ends up feeling like. So I'm gonna get up in this tree and then we'll go from there. All right, here we are in the tree. I actually have the camera attached to my tether, which I'll show you. So we have the tether here, down connected to our bridge, and here we are, leaning back, and it's pretty comfortable. I can see how you're gonna have to get used to it, It's a little bit fidgety at first, but I think there's enough room for adjustment just as a whole, integrated into the whole system, where it is quite comfortable. I will say that the initial time you lean back on this bridge, there's a little bit of a clench factor, right? I mean, you're putting a lot of trust in ropes and things where you feel as though you're dangling off the side of a tree, because you kind of are. One thing that I forgot to say earlier that I think is important to note here is that I actually got some of these Ropeman ascenders, and so these are pretty sweet, because just to shorten the rope, you can pull on that just like that, and if you want to loosen it, you can just give a little bit of a tug on this thing, and oh, there you go. You have more rope. It's pretty sweet, because that in essence replaces a Prusik knot, and I don't know if any of you are familiar with a Prusik knot, but I have a lot of disdain and frustration with Prusik knots, especially when you're trying to do things one-handed. And so this is a way that you can do things one-handed, so you can use a free hand to keep yourself connected to the tree, or be doing whatever you need to be doing, but you can still adjust how much freedom and rope you have. It is pretty cool, just leaning against the platform. It's more comfortable than what I thought it would be. As you can see here, you know, I'm way out on the edge right now, and there's a lot of adjustability from side to side. And I do see how you could really be able to shoot from all the way around the tree. I mean, there's so much freedom for movement up here, and it is kind of an organic angle that you are from the tree. So we'll have to see what it's like hunting out of it, but initial instincts are pretty positive. There's definitely some things that I have to refine in terms of efficiency, getting up and down, and also for silencing certain areas and having things where I need them. But initially, I do like it quite a lot. I think this Latitude saddle is pretty good. I do like this back portion just for a little bit more support and a little bit more coverage. Like I said, I do have some back pain sometimes, and so I think that this thing's going to be pretty sweet. I can see definitely doing like an all-day sit in this, and I think it's just going to be equally comfortable, if not more comfortable, to a tree stand. I do think that I want to get some knee pads, so you can brace yourself against the knee or the tree with your knees if you want to, and really like do a complete sit down if you want in this saddle, and there's not too much pressure points, anything different than what a tree stand would be. So overall, I think it's kind of incredible. I've never used one before, but in reality, I think it's in every way. There are things that you can mimic a tree stand if you want to, but there are also ways that you can improve hunting out of a saddle over what you would be able to do in a tree stand, which I think is pretty sweet. And in combination with essentially the extreme lightweight and mobility that you have going in, especially for a lot of us, people like me who hunt public land where you're walking a lot or you don't have preset stands, it's really the ticket. I don't think it's a fad. I think honestly it's just an improvement over the way that things have been done for quite a long time. Now, saddles have obviously been around for a while. I know people like John Eberhart have been using these, I think, since like the 80s with old like seatbelt material, but these new and improved saddles, I think, are pretty sweet. And in comparison to what a top of the line, like a Lone Wolf tree stand and all of the stuff, it's not that much more expensive. And like I said, they have a sale going on right now, so I think now is the time to try it if you were thinking about trying it. It's pretty sweet. I'm pretty comfortable right here, just hanging out in the tree. It's a beautiful day. Can't really complain. But one thing that I haven't done yet that I do want to try now is taking a couple shots out of this just to see if this interferes with me in any way. I think that's more of a mental thing than what would really be like a tangible issue, but let's try it out and see what we think. So here we are. Got the bow in hand, and I've got a target down here just a little bit away, and we'll see what it's like here taking the first shot. Obviously, like I said, some areas that definitely have to be improved on and silenced, but overall I think it's going to be a pretty sweet gig. So first shot, let's see what we think. Pretty good. I think we're right in the bullseye. It is a little bit different. You have to use your core more to draw because you don't have quite the stability kind of in your feet to really put your whole body into it. So it's almost as if you need to use different muscles to draw your bow. And the other thing is paying attention to your bubble level. It's pretty crazy because you're leaning out against a tree. So I think that top limb of your bow might have a tendency to move a little bit. So making sure that you have a bubble level on your sight and that that's accurate is pretty important. But overall, pretty comfortable. Obviously, this bridge and this tether doesn't interfere with anything. Again, that's where the camera is attached to, and really not too much to complain about initially. Like I said, there's a lot of refinement I think that I have to do and just practice setting up and taking down, but overall it's pretty sweet. So I'm gonna take a couple more shots here to make my time worth it, and then we'll climb out and maybe do some closing thoughts. So here we are back on the ground, which is nice, and here's my 3 shots. Not too bad. 1, 2, 3. I pulled a little bit. Well, I was using my 20-yard pin on a 15-yard target, so a little bit high. I'm okay with that. Overall, I like this setup a lot. I think it's going to be sweet for this fall, and with a little bit of refinement and a lot of practice, I think it's going to be one of the better mobile setups I think out there. Obviously, there's always going to be improvements and always new things coming out that are going to help mobile bow hunters and mobile hunters and public land hunters and so on and so forth. But so far, I think this is a pretty sweet rig. So thanks for watching. If you want to see how this thing goes about the fall and how things hold up and what improvements I make, subscribe, man, or woman. It's free, it doesn't hurt you at all, and helps us out a lot. But if not, we just appreciate your time, and we thank you for watching. So until next time, we'll see you later. A gigantic plane going over real low, which is weird. But overall, I think I'm gonna like this a lot. Wow.